Okay, I'll call this meeting to order. First on the agenda, I would like a moment of silence for Keel Lafitte. Thank you. Okay, any public input? Darren, do you have a new person with you?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll be actually departing the company soon, and Jen is going to be the new reporter.
Oh,
So she's sort of, on her own time, she's volunteering to come to the school board. She was so excited that there was a school board. And I said, hey, so I'm excited too, so I'm excited to come along.
okay, thank you.
I'm gonna miss you, Darren.
Yeah, we will.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next item on the agenda is approval, oh, by the way, Millie may be here or maybe not here, so we'll see if she might show up. Approval of minutes for September 19th. Do I hear a motion to accept?
So moved.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Any errors, omissions, or additions?
I would like to make sorry, is this the 19th that you're on, those minutes?
Yep.
Okay. I would like to make a suggestion in the minutes. If you go to the public part after the non-public section, I wanted to amend the board consensus statement, if everyone agrees to it, to say, board consensus to ask George Broder to check into the previous structural study of Lakeway's second floor addition and to update it as needed, and to omit the line that says, and let us know if we need to hire a new contractor. And I don't know what people think of that.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea in light of not having an opportunity to discuss the study.
Yeah. So the last line should say what? Lakeway what?
It should say, board consensus to ask George Broder to check into the previous structural study of Lakeway's second floor addition and to update it as needed, period.
Okay.
And then
Is what I
strike
was-
the rest.
Yeah, and to omit the rest of that.
Okay. Anything else? Do hear a motion to accept with amendment?
So moved.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the board work session of September 26th. Do I hear a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
Any errors, omissions, or corrections that we need? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The manifests are where they need to be. Final enrollment report for October 1st, which has to be reported to the state. You want to go ahead on that?
Yep. Hurry up, Google. Come on, there we go. Okay, and this document is in your folder as a part of the superintendent's report also. So as of today, and the report that will be going later for the audited enrollment, 38 in the kindergarten class, 47 in grade 1, 49 in grade 2, 56 in grade 3, and 49 in grade 4, 71 in grade 5. That's our big group of kids. Grade 6 has 56 for a total enrollment of 366. Then grade 7, 43, grade 8, 67, grade 9, 69, grade 10, 61, grade 11, 58, grade 12, 46. Gives us a total enrollment of 710. The official October 1st enrollment from last year was 705. So we're about the same, up a handful of kids from 1 year ago.
Next item is budget preparation for 2017-18. Our next work session is October 24th here at the SAU from 4 to 6. And our new business is a traffic sign request, Mr. Bavin.
Excuse me?
You're on.
Okay. And would you like me to answer questions or?
Why don't you tell us about it? I don't know, we've got this revised paper, so.
Right, yes, I brought that to you this afternoon because there were a few changes that took place since the last school board meeting.
Okay,
What we want to do in a nutshell is this. We want to erect 2 signs, one at the intersection of School and High Street, and the other one at the intersection of School and Oak Hill Avenue. And what we want to do is just mark it closed, no through traffic between the hours of. In the report, I mentioned the times of 6 a.m. through 9 p.m. But as I mentioned also, that is extremely flexible. The definite hours will probably be set by the school board and the town government officials, mainly the selectmen and or the town manager. The signs that are out there right now, they are affixed to 2 barricades. The town really does not like to have barricades in the middle of the road because what they do primarily is they, 1, obstruct traffic. Number 2, 6 months out of the year when they are plowing snow, they are a real hazard and inconvenience for the highway crew to have to plow around them. Speaking with the superintendent last year, they were hoping that we could get rid of them by the first snowfall this year. The proposal that we have has been in place. We've been working on it for about 8 months now. We started off, we worked with Chief Paul Smith, who is fully supportive of it, Chief Joe Mercieri, former Public Works Director George McNamara, and I put him down because he was extremely instrumental in helping us get this started. We also have the support of our present Public Works Director, Joe DePalma. And at our May meeting, we also received a unanimous vote from the School Safety Committee that we should move forward with this proposal. Our goal primarily is to maximize the pedestrian safety of our students, faculty and staff and visitors who utilize this section of the highway. As you may also be aware, the Parks and Recreation Program utilizes the Littleton Academy throughout the summer month, which goes through the 3rd week in August. This program brings a substantial number of students throughout the day. All are of elementary school age. We also have a breakfast and lunch program that serves approximately 90 students throughout the summer months, and that includes those attending summer school also. During the academic year, there's a large amount of student traffic between the academy and the high school. As you are also well aware, our school is extremely busy with countless events taking place after normal school hours. This includes both weekends and evenings. The parking lot on School Street is always being used, and restricting through traffic would be very beneficial to all, especially during the evening hours. And we're talking basketball games, concerts, open houses, plays. I mean, it's extremely, extremely busy up there, to include religious education that takes place on Sunday mornings between 9 and 10:30. The new change from the last report is that this year the students will be using this section of the road for evacuation purposes in the event of a fire or other situation that will need evacuation. Normally, about 75% of the school population, they will exit the building, they will walk down Oak Hill Avenue, cross Park Avenue, hike up back High Street, and then go into the gymnasium. This route puts students and faculty at a high risk of being injured, especially during the inclement weather when we have snow, sleet, and freezing rain. Effective immediately, the fire department responds here. When the fire department responds here for an actual event, the first responding unit will use this section of the highway as a staging area. And the reason why they're going to be doing that is because the fire hydrant is located at the intersection of School and High Street. And also the main sprinkler system hookup is also located on School Street. Last week during a monthly drill, we actually tried it out to see how it worked, where we had the students evacuate the high school, and then the fire department, they were called from the firehouse. As opposed to being on scene for the fire drill, they responded. So we would make sure that there was enough time to evacuate the students and get the fire department up here without causing any conflict. We can evacuate the school in approximately 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And that includes grades 7 through 12 and the child care. And the fire department, in the normal conditions where they would have to drop what they're doing, suit up and get here, we're talking maybe about 4 minutes and 50 seconds. So we would still have ample time. But that area is going to be extremely crucial to them. And let's see, I'm just trying to go through this very briefly because I know we have the proposal before you. So what we're looking for is to place 4 signs at each intersection. We would like to have them fluorescent green signs so that reflectorized at night. They would measure approximately 18 by 24 inches, which meets the standards as set forth in the Uniform Code of Traffic Signs. And we did some research on these with the Superintendent of Highway and the Police Department, and those are the standard signs that we put up there. We just shouldn't be putting signs that are, make us feel good. We want to make sure that they're signs that are legal, because what we want to do with these signs also is we want to make sure that we can enforce that area. At this point in time, the signs are up there, but based on the studies that we did with the Board of Selectmen and all, there's no really proper approval to have those signs out there. So consequently, it's hard for the police department. It's almost impossible for them to enforce that area if the signs aren't approved by the Board of Selectmen and they put it into an ordinance form. So in a nutshell, that is what we are looking to do. The total cost of this project will probably be somewhere around $480 for the 4 signs. The highway crew will put up the posts for us, and they will take care of notifying DigSafe, the Water and Light Department, and other agencies that they feel need to be notified. And school administration will be part of the process as to where the best place is to, as far as the placement of the signs go. We want to make sure that we just don't randomly put them there, but for site visibility for those that are coming around the corner, either coming up School Street or Oak Hill Avenue. And one of the reasons why we want to also, and I forgot to mention this in the report, or I forgot to mention it, with the barricades out there, it causes somewhat of an inconvenience for the buses who come up Oak Hill Avenue and have to make a wide turn to come down School Street to get into the CTC, or to pick up a team, or those who are coming up School Street and have to make a left-hand turn into the parking lot. With the barricades there, sometimes they're not placed in the same exact position every day. Sometimes they're out later than normal, and it's hard for them to get around, especially when the roads are bad. So we figured by clearing the road up, making it obstruction-free, and putting the signs up, I think it'll be a win-win for everybody. The only person that it may inconvenience somewhat is the gentleman, and I forget his name, who lives right alongside of the parking lot on School Street. We've spoken to him. He's been there for 20 years. It's not an issue with him whatsoever. He leaves for school about 6:30 in the morning, and he's usually back, once school is over. So to him, it won't be an issue, whatsoever. We've been working with him, and we will continue to work with him to make sure that this works. I mean, ideally, this is a good step one for what we want to do. I think as traffic increases and the building is used more and more, at some point in time, we may have to consider shutting off that small section of highway. And then that way we don't have to worry about cars coming in. Oh, is it 6:05 or is it 7:05? We can keep them out totally, and then we'll be sure that the kids can cross the street during the daytime, because there's a lot of activity during between the academy and the high school. There's a lot of pedestrian crossing of that street. So in a nutshell, that's what we have. But please, I'm here to answer any questions that you may have about the proposal.
Any questions?
It's a lot more practical than having a barricade, so.
Personally speaking, I know that when I was on the police force for 28 years, that was always a sticking point with the state highway or the town about, if you have a barricade there, somebody doesn't see it, they hit it, it's our problem. If they left out sometime at night and they get blown over in a storm, which has happened before, that's our problem. So if we can just clear up the street and put the signs up, I think it'll be a win-win.
Yeah.
Thank you for speaking to the resident who will be impacted. I appreciate that.
And we'll continue to be in touch with them, because I think we've touched base with them 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And just let them know what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, do I hear a motion to accept this proposal?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Louis.
I just want to let you know also that step 2 will be, I'll speak with Dr. Steve in the morning, and we will notify Andrew Dorsett, the town manager,
Okay,
and he will meet with us for a preliminary meeting. And they'll put us on the agenda for the next selectmen's meeting, or whenever they can do it, and we will get down and make the presentation. And that's when we can talk about the hours of closure and the signs and things of that nature. And then, once that is done, then the superintendent can come back and report to you what the final results are of the program.
Sounds good.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Committee reports, personnel is not any right now. Facilities,
We had a good meeting last week, and the numbers that will impact the future budget are being gathered, and we look forward at our next meeting to doing some prioritizing, working with the administrators to work through those possibilities.
okay,
So
Great.
it's going along well.
thank you. Policy committee is going to meet on October 9th at 9 o'clock. We have just one policy to go over with, because the other one will be coming at a future date. So, superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you. First of all, just want to thank the board and certainly the greater school community for their support. A couple of weeks ago, I missed the last meeting, of course, during the loss of my father, and thank you all for your understanding and support and thoughts and prayers and everything that goes along with that. And then, of course, not long after that, I of course received the news that we'd lost Pierre. And again, clearly the outpouring of grief and support and everything that we saw on Saturday only reinforced what I learned about Pierre in the short time that I got to spend with him. And I'm really grateful, as I've said on numerous occasions. I'll say it again. I'm really grateful for the 30-minute meeting with Pierre that stretched into a couple of hours back in July. Once we got talking about baseball and the Yankees and the Royals and the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Yankees and the Cardinals, and then it was great. And clearly, you run across those individuals from time to time that they really make a career out of education, put their heart and soul into a community, love kids, And you know, and again, do what I think everybody in the business who's in the business tries to do, and that's to make a difference. And clearly this is someone that left a legacy, and many people behind, former students, and certainly he's going to be missed. But I am grateful that I got to spend some time with him. Jonah Paulman and his crew, want to thank them for their help here when they were doing some work, filling in some potholes for us here, lining parking lots, and again, painting the lines there. We want to extend our thanks to him and the Department of Public Works for helping us out with that. One of the things that we heard over and over, it was talked about quite a bit following our conference we had back at the beginning of the school year, and that was we really with Marzano, we really want to see a plan. We want to see what are we going to do with this. We've been talking about grading, we've been talking about competency-based education for a while now. What's the plan? Where's it going forward? And I mentioned this before, but I want to mention it again. I think it's it's at the top of what we'll be working on going forward is as we make some transition, we build on the work that's been done with the competency-based grading at the elementary school, and we continue to work to refine that and implement it going forward. I am going to be putting together a curriculum council that will be asked to meet periodically, not huge amounts of times, but the curriculum council again will be made up of teachers, administrators, other support individuals that will help us with the plan of the process, because it is time to articulate a well thought through plan to move forward with this process. Official enrollment report I gave just a little bit earlier, and again it's in the documents. There was I did again listening to the minutes, some discussion a couple of weeks ago at Lakeway Elementary, some studies that were done back a few years ago, and we have had an opportunity to do a little bit of follow up with that. We'll continue to work with individuals on that to see the status of the structure, and going forward make the best decisions and recommendations we can going forward with that particular building, as we look to the future of that building and alternatives as we work toward that process. One of the nice things about my job, I guess, is I get to have quite a bit of flexibility in my schedule sometimes not so much, but today I did get to spend a lot of time in the classrooms, particularly in the middle school. Just worked out that way. But I just as a comment, I mentioned a couple teachers I really like taking my time there, spending there, getting having a chance to see the good work. I saw some really good work today in the classrooms I was in with our teachers and our staff, and get to know the students a little bit, and they're getting used to me. Students are getting used to seeing me. That's a good sign, and certainly I'll continue to do that with high school, elementary, and back to the middle school again. But the classroom visitations are critical. We're not such a big school that the superintendent can't do that, and I don't think there's any school too big for that. Frankly, it's important that everybody be involved with that. So I wanted to note that, and again note how happy I was with lots of computers being used, active learning happening. It was a really good visitation today. And that's my report for this week.
Okay, thank you. Do I hear a motion to go into non-public session, please?
I can find it too.
It's right in your non-public folder.
Make a motion to enter into non-public session under paragraph 2, section 3 of the RSA 91A:3 of the right to know law for numbers 2, the hiring of any person as a public employee, and number 3, matters that would adversely affect the reputation of any person other than a member of the board. Taking with us the superintendent.
Anybody else?
Yes. Tom and Tom Manuel's business manager.
Do we need to go into?
And
Number 3 or anything?
yeah.
Number 3 as well, or not?
Yes, number 3 as well. Okay, and are we Yeah. taking Malcolm with us? Yes. And the assistant superintendent. Yes, please.
Second?
All in favor? Roll call vote.
Cook?
Hannon?
Robbins.
Wiggett. Okay.
All right.